Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of the Learn and Trade with Popeye. I received a lot of questions lately on my setting and how I use a specific indicator that is the visible volume profile. So, wanted to make a video so it will be easier for the future reference to answer to your questions, since it's a tool that lately I'm enjoying a lot and you will often see in my chart. Before moving to the chart, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and a like, so you will help me to grow the YouTube page, and I would know that you enjoy this content. Also, big thanks to Bluffin for sponsoring the video. Bluffin is a super cool non KYC exchange. I've been using a lot in the past, and now I'm using it again. You don't need any to give any personal information since it's non KYC. It has a lot of liquidity, so it's super cool to use. Make sure you join Bluefin using the referral link down in the description below to enjoy also 20% discount on trading fee. But without further ado, let's see how to set the visible volume profile, how to use it, and to give you some tips and practical example on some of the trade I took using these tools. So the tools is visible, easy to find in TradingView, but is also in many other trading platform. Just look for visible range volume profile. So usually the acronym is VRVP, standing for visible range volume profile. So once you selected, I was already selected for me. You can go to the setting. These are the settings that I use, but I think it's very personal. You can save it. So I keep row size to 500 to have more detail, and the volume area to 70. The style I keep with 20%. I usually just show the point of control, but sometimes I also flag the volume area high, volume area low, and I like to keep it on the right. That is probably somewhere here. Upon should be somewhere where you decide that a placement on the right. So these are the simple settings that I use. Then you can play with color and whatever. So similarly to the fixed volume profile that I usually use, it shows the volume intensity of specific price movement. So while the fixed volume range fixed volume profile is the tools that you decide where to start and where to finish, and it looks something like this. You will find in the Learn and Trade playlist a video specifically on the fixed volume profile and the way I use it. The difference is that while this one is fixed, so you decide the beginning and the end of the area you want to monitor, the visible is simply, as the words say, showing you what you are seeing in the chart. So it's considering the area you have in the chart. So as you can see, you just have to give it few seconds to update. The more I zoom out, the more the volume profile will change. The more I zoom in, the more it will change according to what is visible at that specific moment in the chart. As you can see, it's adapting on the Bitcoin chart in the 12 hour the way it moves. So if we zoom out, for example, in Bitcoin, and we take, let's say, the last price action from November until now, you will see how the volume profile is showing, and it's giving you mainly a few information typical of any volume profile tools you will use. First, it will give you the point of control of what you are seeing. So it's the most traded in terms of volume and time price in the chart. In this case, for Bitcoin, it's 96. It's giving you in blue and on the top, in the bottom, value area high, so let's say range high, and value area low, let's say range low. But then it gives you also, this is the main reason why I use it, some of what I call volume node. So are also other level of interest in this visible chart I selected now for Bitcoin, where in this volume node there was an intense activity, not because the price just moved there a lot, but because there was a lot of volume exchange on those areas. So the first explanation is, why do you use sometimes the fixed and sometimes the visible? The answer is pretty straightforward. I use the fixed on a well-known range because I decide where to start and when to finish that specific range. So if you use the example, I'm recording this video on Saturday, 9th of August. If we see this was a very well-established range, so I like to decide precisely where this range is starting. That for me is more or less here when the price started to, sorry, wrong tool, when the price started to go sideways until this range is finally broken somewhere here. So I use the fixed volume profile when the range is very well established and it has, let's say, a beginning and potentially will have sometime an end. So in this case, I want to be very precise with the beginning and the end of this range. In this case, was broken and was reclaimed. So I had my value area low just here, value area low just here. So thanks to this indicator, I can see clearly where the value area low is, and so I can also see, as you see, how respected this level here is how, when this level is reclaimed, if it's retested, and we find acceptance back above. I can also see the point of control that in this case is the same as the one given by the fixed visible volume profile, and I can get the value area I that would be this. So once I have this information, for me, this can be removed, and I mapped my level of this very specific range. So the reason I use the fixed one in a range where we are trading right now is the last range we are. So it's the current range I'm interested on mapping level. I use the visible in different situations where I want to monitor a wider price action, where potentially, like now in Bitcoin, there is several ranges and there is several kind of price action. As you can see here, there was a sort of range. Here there was a sort of range. This would be considered all as a big range, as the visible volume profile is showing, and here we have another range. So in this case, I have many ranges, many consolidation, however you want to call it, and here I can see all the point of reference, each of them. So as you can see, this is a volume node, probably is the point of control of this range here. This, as we saw before, is the point of control of this little range here. This is the point of control of this bigger range we have here, and this potentially was the point of control of this lower range. So easily I can map this level. So I can see where the previous or the next volume node is present. So now it's not very relevant, but we can say that the point of control here in this high time frame chart here. So if Bitcoin come down, we can expect this level to be a support. Basically, this volume node tells you that there was a strong interaction at that level, that level had a lot of interest from market makers, whales, big buyers or sellers, and this potential level in the future that can be defended. So the first way to use this volume node is to consider them potentially support or resistance level. So visiting them from above, you can expect or look for a bounce. Visiting them from below, you can expect a rejection. I don't know, for example, the one that is happening now. That is not that you simply trade using this. You have to use them as a confluence and with some other reasoning. So while This is more interesting from the downside because we are in a bullish structure. But somebody can say this is a diagonal resistance coming here, I can look for short. So whatever is your strategy, do not use this simply without having a wider trading strategy, but this give you clarity on level. And they help you for the theory of accumulation, distribution, or the auction theory. So what they tell you? They tell you that whenever price manage to find acceptance above or below this important volume node, potentially the price is resulting and is going to complete the consolidation that there was in that specific level. Probably the easier example here is this volume node here. So what was the interest here? Was the interest that the price action was sort of bearish here. We managed to break once again above this node. We attacked this node and price started to offend acceptance above this node. It happened the same back here. As you can see, we broke above, we find acceptance above, so you can see that the option of this volume node is price is creating a value going sideways, it creates a volume node, it break above the volume node, it retests, and it move higher. And it does it consequentially, so this can give you some confidence on the trend that is following a consolidation. If you clearly see here, now inside is easier, you can see that we broke above, we consolidated above this node here, we retested this node, we broke above, we consolidated again, we tested this node a few times, and we started to trade above. So you can, from these two sort of price action, make a bias of the bigger range we have been trading. And you can see that breaking, retesting, and finding acceptance above this volume node has brought us to the final breakout of this current range. This is something that we can also look here. Let me clean a little bit the chart. So it's easy because it's visible, so you can simply move in the chart and select the area you are more interested. As you can see, now we are in a key level because we are testing, we are initially being rejected from this key node. If price failed to trade above this level, you can expect a little correction. If price start to break above and find acceptance above this node, you can expect probably this high up here to be taken. So this is the first, let's say, application once you understand how it works to give you level that you monitor to see if they work as resistance, if they work as support, and basically for you to understand that if price find exception below or above this level is potentially the opening of a break of the consolidation we have been trading. Remember that price can do three things: uptrend, downtrend, and consolidate. Whenever we consolidate, we have to try to find all the tools to let us understand if this consolidation is resulting on breakout or breakdown. With this volume node, you can try to understand when the volume node is breaking and is moving. Once this consolidation breaks, what you can use the volume node for, now in this case for Bitcoin is difficult, but I will show you later in another chart, we look for the next volume node. So in the case of Bitcoin being unable to break above this volume node, now I'm making an example just for educational purpose, not for trading purpose. If we fail here, you can say, okay, I see that here there is nothing. You see this area is pretty empty, so I'm waiting for a test down here at 107 because there is no much exchange, not much support, not much resistance along this level, so I prefer to trade on the keynotes. So I don't like to trade here, and I know that probably these levels are filled pretty quickly. As you can see, it is happening here. We had the drop where exactly above this node. So this vacuum here was filled filled quickly because there was not much support and resistance. I don't know if I can find something else bigger. This was probably never tested, but you can see even, let's have a look here. Sorry, on a time frame. Just cleaning a little bit to keep the chart clean. So if we look also here, you can see that we never tapped exactly that level, but here there was a gap, and this gap was filled exactly coming down here. This gap is also visible with a naked eye on the chart by this gap here, but this is a tool that can give you some objectivity to see this gap. You can see similarly here that we came down almost to the test that level. So this is, let's say, basically the super basic function, and to allow you to be more objective on selecting level, because once again, always you can find this information in the naked chart if you learn to properly read it. So do not jump to these indicators before understanding what is an accumulation, what is a distribution, what is a trend. You can clearly see that here there was a resistance, because price has been failing to trade above here. But this is giving you a more defined level of interest of that specific resistance, and give you more objective way of monitoring this level. But without continuing to talk too much, I want to show you two practical examples of two trades I took last week, and to see how you can use, let's say, practically in Confluence, other tools, other indicators, other strategy, how it works. These are the tools that I use mainly for Confluence. I have my strategy. You can find many videos that show how I trade, and the explanation of this chart will show you that there is other interesting part. But I took this trade because on the 12 hours, this is the Plume chart. You will find the full history of this trade and the management of the trade on my X profile, but just to give you some context. So we did have a strong impulse, a consolidation here, a strong impulse above, a bullish trading, and then price started to come back to the origin of this move. That was this demand down here in the gray box. Once it happened, it started to form a three drive pattern. You can find a video on the three drive pattern that I usually trade, so we'll not go too much into details in this. Along with a bullish divergence, you see prices forming lower lows and the RSI is forming higher lows. You will find a video in the Learn and Trade with Popeye about RSI and how I use it. So there was a confluence of this level. This was per se a trade setup I would take, but in this case I opened the volume visible volume profile, and I saw that this was happening also in a logical support level that was this volume node. As you can see, is really aligned with this level. So it gives you further confidence on the level. Why I'm up to also this second level? Because this is now potentially resistance. So now this is potentially a level where I would like to take profit or see the reaction. So if we see a reaction like this, it means that this price probably will continue to ping pong among these two levels. But if you break above and start to find acceptance above this node, then I would be more confident that my final target will be reached, because as you can see here, there is not much resistance in terms of volume exchange above that level. As you can see here, I wanted also to mark specifically this range where we traded before breaking down, and I map here with the fixed volume profile exactly the point of control and the value area low of this range where the price is currently finding a rejection. So a little bit to have both the indication of where these ranges have their key levels. Remember that if this was a distribution, distribution breaking down, retest will continue to go down. But if this price start to find acceptance back above the value area low, then we can say something else, that this was probably an accumulation, this was probably a manipulation, and down there will be the expansion or the distribution on the power on a typical power of three setup. So this level we are trading right now, again, is Saturday, is super key for me to watch and to understand what happened. If we start to find acceptance back above value area high, I would look for higher price for Plume. If we get rejected, probably I will reduce my risk and take more profit. So as you can see, it's a combination of style. It's not something I use alone. But in this case was a nice confluence because I already have the tree drive, I already have the bullish divergence, I already have a retest of the origin of the impulse. This was the origin of this impulse right there. So a retest for me, and seeing also the volume profile, the visible of this area profile node here was allowing me to gain extra confidence on this setup. The other example I want to give you is hype. In the case of hype, I've been using for this trade the whole by bit history of hype. So as you can see, hype is a pretty new coin. I took the Bybit chart and I took the whole history of the Bybit chart, and I can see two different and important things, always considering ranges. So we did have a big range formed here from December 2024 until May 2025. Once we broke out of this range, as you can see, this was the previous point of control, we never came down to test this level. So price somehow has always managed to stay above the old range. Price is clearly trading in a bullish manner. So when I saw this retest, I had some confluence of interest. First is that it retested exactly, as you can see here, the 0.75 Fibonacci of this move. So it's the ideal area to look for a bounce. Second, that this volume node was again aligned there along with the support, with these lows, whatever, and was defended by the price action. So what I say to myself, this is a good area to try from a long because everything here looks bullish, the structure is bullish. This old consolidation has been retested a few times and is holding, so we are probably not going to deviate back inside this range. I have my 0.75 there as a confluence of a potential bullish move of this move here, and I see also that price is holding above this above this key volume node, that is the last volume node that I have to hold, because as you can see, after that, there is nothing, and above 49, there is price discovery. So I want to try this move, and this level gave me a confidence that the level I was trying to bid was probably a good level to try. This time it works, at times might not work. Was a good level to try for this simple kind of structure. So my thesis is not the volume node. My thesis is not the tree drive. My thesis is always a bias that I form because of something bigger, and is the context. The context is we broke this, we traded above, we tested once, we tested twice, so this level is holding. The structure is bullish. The last bullish move, that is the one relevant, so my bias is bullish for many reasons. The last bullish move is exactly this one. So since I have a bullish bias, I'm interested on catching the lower, higher lows. Higher lows. So this level had a confluence of Fibonacci 0.75, volume node, and many other things. So for me, this was a level that was worth my attention. And as you can see, price for the moment has bounced there and is potentially moving higher. So with these two examples, I hope I gave you some more clarity on how to use the indicator. Whenever you see a trade setup and you want to take it using the volume visible volume profile. Remember to do it with me in Bluffin. You will find the referral link in the description below here in the video to enjoy a 20% discount on trading fee and to be eligible for a lot of campaign we are running with the team. Practically every other 2 weeks we run a new campaign with deposit bonuses, challengings, and many other things that can help you to boost your trading experience. Also, Bluefin is a non-KYC exchange, so you just need an email address to join and to use it. It takes just really few seconds to open an account. It has a lot of liquidity and a very cool platform for trading. Just to sum up, and to close the video with some summary about the visible volume profile is an indicator that you can find on any trading platform, but especially in TradingView. I show you at the beginning of the video what are my specific settings. You can use whatever you want, but I would suggest you to reduce the row size as much as possible and to keep it on the right, because the pro tips will be closer to the most recent price action, that is the one that you want to trade. If you keep it on the other side, on the left side, it will be very far away from the price action you are watching now. The visible volume profile is showing you the volume exchange at certain price on the chart you are viewing exactly on that moment. So it's different from the fixed volume profile that show just the volume profile of the area you select. So by zooming in and zooming out, you will change the result of the outcome of the indicator according to the chart you are currently viewing. I'm using it when there is more ranges, more consolidation, and when I want to see a bigger time frame and I want to see key level, let's say, on multiple history moment of that specific chart, while I use the fixed volume profile when I want to check only the latest range we are trading in. What I use the point of control, I use the volume area high, volume area low, and specifically I use the most the volume node that are the peak on volume you will see on the indicator. So the most intense, the longer part of the volume, the most expanded, I don't know how to explain it more simple, those are the levels that are more relevant in that chart. Relevant because there was more exchange of volume, more exchange of money, and potentially there was interest by institution, market makers, and so on. This level can be used both as a support and resistance. So if visited from below, you can expect some resistance. If visited from above, you can expect some support. Furthermore, you can use this node to understand if the price action is successful or failure. So whenever we break outside of a range, the more we find consolidation above or below, according if it's a breakup or a breakdown, this key node, it will understand if the price action and the action of that price has been successful or moving above that consolidation or moving below that consolidation. If this level failed to hold, you will understand that is a failed price action, and probably we will go back inside the old range, the old consolidation, whatever is accumulation or distribution we have been trading in. You can use them also to find entry in confluence with other indicators or trading strategy. As I said at the beginning, in case they are tested, you can use them as a support and resistance, so means to use as a confluence for an entry level where you expect a bounce or a drop. I think this could be the first episode of the visible volume profile indicator. We will see if there is question and request. I can make a more advanced with more practical example. In the video, you have seen the plume and the hype trade execution and example on how you use it. But if you have any question, as always, just drop me a comment here in YouTube or on X, and I will try to explain it better. I hope you enjoyed the video. Before leaving, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and a like, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.